The story kicks off with a spaceship crashing onto a planet that was ancient Earth, sending wildlife scattering as it plunged into a lake. Two human-like figures in advanced space suits emerged. One pulled his companion from the water, only for him to fall unconscious, haunted by glimpses of his past. When he regained consciousness, his friend had died from a deep chest wound. From the distance came a strange metallic sound. It was a computer trapped in the lake. He saved it and queried the planet, even asking if any other ships were nearby, only to learn none existed. Disheartened but determined, he downloaded the planet's civilizations, languages, and cultures into himself. A painful and grueling process that left him invigorated. Armed with a single surviving weapon, he practiced targeting and built a grave for his fallen comrade, setting out into the dense forests with a new mission: survive this alien, perilous world. Along the way, he discovered a dead whale and a ruined village marked by inhuman attacks, feeling eyes on him just before a warrior struck him unconscious. He woke to find himself a captive in a Viking village, surrounded by wooden walls, where young Freya sparred with her father, King Hrothgar, refusing to marry the arrogant throne contender, Wulfric. After a heated confrontation, Hrothgar's sword cut Freya's shoulder, and Wulfric's pride only enraged her further. Meanwhile, Hrothgar and Wulfric discussed a nearby village's destruction and a strange man they had captured, the very astronaut, now mocked for his alien attire. Questioned by Wulfric, he claimed to be Kanan from a northern island hunting dragons, but no one believed him. His escape attempt failed, and as he tried to free himself with a burning iron rod, Freya arrived, ordered to care for him. By evening, Hrothgar pressed Wulfric about the stranger, who refused to cooperate, reminding them they still needed to find Gunnar, the destroyed village's leader, since the attack hadn't been theirs. Wulfric was thrown into confusion. Gunnar had once killed his father, the old village king. Hrothgar explained it wasn't truly Gunnar's fault. His own father had been reckless and arrogant, and Hrothgar didn't want Wulfric to suffer the same fate. Meanwhile, Freya confronted Kanan, demanding to know if he had attacked the village, but he denied it. Before more could be said, Kanan broke free, striking Freya and one of her guards, defeating the guard and fleeing into the night, almost succeeding if not for the sudden blaring alarm. The village braced for war, assuming Gunnar had returned for revenge. But outside, there was no one. The real enemy was already inside. Chaos erupted as an unknown creature with writhing tentacles set the village ablaze. Kanan chased it, pursued by a guard who soon became the creature's victim, dragged to the wooden wall. Kanan called out, "Morvin!" revealing the true dragon he had been hunting. Before he could stop it, the Vikings captured him and bound him with heavy stones. Bound, he was haunted by visions of Morvin attacking his home planet and annihilating his people, memories of a past he still mourned. The next day, a poor village boy offered him bread, which he hesitated but accepted. As villagers pressed him for answers about the dragon, Kanan revealed its name, Morvin, the same beast that had destroyed his world. He explained how Morvin lures creatures with light before killing them, confessing that he had unknowingly brought it to the village. Just as he faced execution, Hrothgar intervened, declaring he wasn't fully convinced by Kanan's story but refused to let him die. Kanan realized the Vikings were about to hunt Morvin, and he begged Hrothgar to let him join. Mounted on a horse, earning a punch from Freya in revenge for his earlier attack, they set off in pursuit. Along the way, the blacksmith Boromir offered Kanan mead, which he spat out, warning that if Morvin wasn't stopped, the village would meet the same fate as his home. Wulfric reported scattered corpses, suggesting they move in pairs, but Kanan insisted everyone stay together. During the search, a horse's severed head fell onto Hrothgar and Boromir, while another pair discovered burned bodies near a cave, realizing they were close to something deadly. Terrified cries echoed from within, revealing a massive, savage bear. The battle was fierce, many injured, but Kanan struck the final blow, slaying the beast. Hrothgar, impressed, granted Kanan his freedom, and the village celebrated the victory. At the feast, Kanan reappeared in local clothes, warmly welcomed, and shared a meal with Hrothgar. The boy who had given him bread, Eric, received Kanan's sword, with a promise to reveal his name first. Later, Wulfric challenged Kanan to a game called Shields, and after multiple stumbles, Kanan fell on Boromir, only to be helped up, earning the villagers' acceptance as one of their own. As Kanan left the hall, Freya thanked him for aiding her father's journey, but he warned that Morvin, not the bear, had killed their people and could return anytime. At that moment, The village's peace shattered. Gunnar and his Viking warriors attacked. Swords clashed violently. Kanan and Freya fought fiercely, while Hrothgar faced Gunnar alone. Just as Gunnar was about to strike the king down, Kanan intervened, saving Hrothgar. Gunnar tried to retaliate, but his own men overpowered him, calling for a retreat. The battle was lost. Gunnar's group retreated, but not before he cursed Hrothgar, blaming him for the deaths of his family and people. Slowly, the village began to recover. Freya explained to Kanan Gunnar's history. Years ago, Wulfric's father had planned a united attack on the Franks, but Gunnar had missed the meeting. Seen as betrayal, it sparked a long-standing feud between the villages. Meanwhile, Gunnar's group plotted revenge. One night, a man stopping by the forest edge was attacked by Morvin, hidden in the lake, and soon Gunnar's men began dying one by one, mistakenly thinking Wulfric had ambushed them. Gunnar found himself alone, choosing to face Morvin without fear. Back in the village, injured Vikings, actually Gunnar's own men, ran to surrender, screaming that they'd die if denied entry. Wulfric, suspicious, ordered his archers ready, but Gunnar himself emerged, wounded and pleading for help. Some archers fired, killing a few, but Gunnar survived. Kanan yelled to stop the arrows, then opened the gates himself, letting the enemies in. Just as Wulfric prepared to strike Gunnar, a blue swarm of light seized a man in the forest and swallowed him. The light turned red, revealing Morvin, who vanished into the darkness moments later. Panic gripped the hall. Wulfric and Gunnar argued fiercely, with Gunnar claiming fighting Morvin was like striking a stone wall. Kanan warned that confronting the beast in the open was impossible. They needed traps. Wulfric scoffed, distrusting Kanan as an outsider, which enraged him. He reminded Wulfric of his past mistakes with the bear and Gunnar. Their dispute escalated to a scuffle until Hrothgar intervened, separating them. The king calmly declared that this time, Kanan's plan would take precedence. The next day, following Kanan's strategy, the Vikings prepared a massive trap at the village gates, demanding flammable materials for a purpose that hinted at deadly intent. They dug a deep pit, disguised it as a simple hut, installed stakes, and filled it with combustibles. When ready, Hrothgar welcomed Kanan into the group. Meanwhile, one survivor from the previous night awoke among corpses, only to be killed instantly by Morvin. In Freya's hut, over a shared bowl of stew, Kanan revealed his secret. His people, the Kanan society, were conquerors of worlds, having destroyed Morvin's species with bombs and hunted the survivors to gain control. As part of a space colonizer unit, he and his family had earned the right to reside on the planet in exchange for this power. After victory, he learned one Morvin had survived, hiding in a ship's ventilation system, the same beast that had massacred the population. Kanan blamed himself, but Freya urged him to be less harsh and gave him her family sword to fight better. With the trap set, Gunnar helped the warriors open the village gates. Kanan and Wulfric went out, waiting for the beast, and when nothing appeared, Kanan threw a torch into the forest, spotting Morvin. Suddenly, the village priest appeared, praying for the creature's departure and claiming to be Lucifer's messenger, only to be killed immediately by Morvin. Kanan and Wulfric raced through the trap, using shields as platforms to reach the other side of the forest, but Wulfric fell into the combustibles with Morvin, trapped as the warriors sealed the gates. As archers prepared flaming arrows, Kanan rescued Wulfric via an alternate path just in time, narrowly avoiding the explosion. Astonished villagers watched the blaze, but then a smaller Morvin appeared near hiding women. Freya decided to attack, joined by her father, but the brief struggle left him vulnerable. Before it could end, the first Morvin returned, angrier than ever, and though Kanan and Wulfric attacked together, their combined strength barely matched the creature's overwhelming power. Gunnar tried to help, but a sudden strike from Morvin severed his head, and the beast fled into the forest. Eric ran to Kanan, warning him of a second Morvin, and they rushed to aid Freya, only to find her beside her father's lifeless body. Terrified, the villagers abandoned the settlement the next day. Eric pleaded to stay, but Kanan explained it was no longer safe and promised they would meet again before leaving. Kanan sought out a despondent Wulfric, convincing him they had to face Morvin together. Forming a small team, they descended into an old well, the only way to reach the beast's lair. Kanan requested stronger weapons from Boromir, then, with Freya and Wulfric, returned to the lake where his ship had crashed, retrieving essential materials. Beneath the water, Morvin appeared, and on surfacing, they found their boat destroyed. Only Wulfric remained, Freya missing. Using a piece of the ship, Boromir forged a new, larger sword. Kanan led the team into an underground cave, awaiting the others. Meanwhile, Freya awoke inside Morvin's nest, surrounded by corpses, and was hunted by the terrifying creature. Just as it attacked, unknown voices startled it, allowing her to escape and ignite her inner courage. Kanan's team reached a lava-filled cavern, feeling the heat underfoot and seeing flickering shadows on the walls. They encountered Morvin's lair, defended by a smaller but fierce offspring. The team attacked, wounding it but suffering heavy losses. Their greatest blow came with Boromir's death, the trusted warrior slain by the beast. Freya struggled to her feet, calling out to Kanan and the others to regroup amidst the chaos. Before entering the cave, Freya sensed danger. The wounded Morvin suddenly appeared, its dark form almost invisible except for the chaos it made. As they confronted it, Freya and Kanan screamed and made noise, confusing the beast. Freya narrowly avoided its claws, her heartbeat racing with fear. To reach her friends, she had to squeeze through a tiny hole, too small for anyone else. Given no choice, the team handed her a sword. She grabbed it without hesitation and struck Morvin down with a blow so powerful the cave echoed. The team regrouped, but the sight of the corpses left them stunned. From afar, a voice signaled that danger wasn't over. The final Morvin, enraged by its offspring's death, pursued the warriors to a cliff above a waterfall. Slippery walls and precarious footing made escape treacherous, yet the team pressed on. Freya slipped toward the cascading water, but Kanan caught her in time. Meanwhile, Wulfric confronted the original, massive Morvin, managing to wound its face in a desperate strike. Freya held steady, but Morvin hurled Wulfric toward Kanan, leaving him alone to face the beast. Kanan re-entered the cave, slashing a tentacle, but was thrown down during a sudden attack. Freya intervened, giving Kanan the opening to strike again. Morvin remained powerful, dragging Kanan toward the cliff's edge, but he finally wounded its hand with a sword strike, sending it plunging into the abyss. They reunited with the severely injured Wulfric, who asked if the creature was finally dead. Yes, Kanan and Freya replied. Wulfric offered Kanan the medallion to claim the throne, regretting not building a proper friendship. Kanan smiled, saying, "We are friends." At that moment, Wulfric's eyes closed forever. Climbing the cliff, Kanan and Freya saw Eric and the villagers safely floating in boats below. In that mix of relief and triumph, Freya and Kanan shared a tender, lingering kiss, a brief moment of peace after the storm. Despite all the battles and trials, Kanan bid Freya farewell, his voice serious as he explained he had another mission. Freya's eyes reflected worry and fear, knowing he might never return. Kanan returned to the wreckage of his ship, confronting the deepest pain within him. His wife had been in stasis during the journey, and the crash destroyed her capsule, ending her life. Though grief weighed heavily on his face, he pressed on with his mission. Saying goodbye to Freya, he approached his computer, which sent a signal for his companions to begin searching for him. Alone but resolute, Kanan destroyed the computer, abandoning the last chance to return home. From behind the bushes, Freya watched, seeing both determination and sorrow in his actions. He had chosen duty and a new home over the easiest path. In the aftermath, Freya revealed that Wulfric and Hrothgar were honorably buried with the highest Viking honors for their courage and dignity. Kanan, once a stranger, became the new king. Freya, his wife, and Eric, now his adopted son, remained by his side. Freya closed the tale on an emotional, inspiring note, emphasizing Kanan's immense sacrifice. Sent by the gods, drawn elsewhere by fate, yet he chose to stay for his people and his new home. His courage and selflessness defined his true greatness. Amid war, tragedy, love, and sacrifice, a stranger left his world to lead and live in another. This is where the story ends.